So today we're going to be talking about ser y estar. Okay, in Spanish there's these two very important verbs, ser and estar. And even though in Spanish they're different verbs and they mean different things, in English they're actually the same verb. And this verb is the verb to be. Now to be is the name of the verb in the infinitive form. Well, what's the verb to be when you use it actually? When you use the verb to be in the present tense, the verb is I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, and they are. So this is the verb to be when it's used in the present tense in English. And this is the verb we're going to learn, but in Spanish. And remember, in Spanish, it's not just one verb, it's two of them. So let's talk about each one of these verbs separately and how we're going to figure out when to use it. Okay, when we talk about using ser, we're going to use an acronym to help us remember what are the situations in which we use ser. And the acronym is doctor, or doctor in English. The D is for description, when we describe something or someone. For example, ella es simpática. The O is for occupation, when we talk about what somebody does for a living or their work, etc. For example, usted es una profesora. The C is for characteristics. For example, nosotros somos altos. Alto significa tall. The T is for time and date. So when we say things like son las 3 or es el 20 de mayo. The O is for origin, when we're talking about where we're from. For example, yo soy de los Estados Unidos. The R is for relation, talking about who is related to us. Él es mi papá. Okay, so again, the acronym we're going to learn for ser is doctor. Description, occupation, characteristics, time and date, origin, and relation. So let's look at the conjugations of ser. Okay, conjugaciones del verbo ser. Okay, for ser we have yo soy, tú eres, él es, ella es, usted es. This is in the singular, and then we have nosotros or nosotras somos, vosotros or vosotras sois, ellos son, ellas son, and ustedes son. And we had previously learned the first ones, the singular form, but now we're also adding the plural. So again, we have soy, eres, es, somos, sois, and son. And these ones you will have to memorize because both ser and estar are irregular verbs. So they don't follow the pattern that we've been used to learning for conjugating verbs. These ones you just have to memorize them. Okay, so now let's look at estar. And for estar, we're also going to use an acronym. And the acronym we're going to use is CEL. The C stands for condition, the condition of someone or something. For example, la sopa está caliente. The soup is hot. The E is for emotions or feelings. For example, ellas están aburridas. The L is for location of someone or of something. La computadora está encima del escritorio. Now for estar, we also have a little phrase that you can learn, and this could help you also remember when to use estar. And that little phrase is how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. So it's a very simple one, and you can actually memorize this as a song with the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. So whichever one makes it easier for you, you can learn or just use both of them. Now let's talk about las conjugaciones del verbo estar. Here they are. And we've learned this once before. We have yo estoy, tú estás, él está, ella está, usted está, nosotros o nosotras estamos, vosotros o vosotras estáis, ellos están, ellas están, y ustedes están. So because this is also an irregular verb, remember you have to memorize this conjugations for both verbs. Okay, now let's look at this whole thing in a Venn diagram. Let's go ahead and compare ser and estar. And let's start first with the things that they have in common. One thing they have in common, of course, is the fact that they both mean the verb to be. Another thing that they have in common is the fact that they're both irregular verbs. Now let's talk about difference. We use ser, remember, when we talk about description, occupation, characteristics, time and date, origin, and relation. And the word that we're going to remember is doctor. Now for estar, we use it when we talk about condition, emotions and feelings, and location. And the acronym we're going to use is SEL. So this is for ser and estar, and it's very important that we learn very well when we use each one of them, because otherwise it's going to get really confusing. And of course you have to memorize their conjugations. So please go ahead and practice with the exercises that I gave you as a handout, and we will go over this in class. Thank you guys.